Let's Talk Oculus, a VR podcast, is proudly sponsored by the good folks at Patreon. If you want to support the show, join us on patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. What's up, Oculus nerds? Welcome back to Let's Talk Oculus episode 208. I'm your host as always, I'm Dan, joined by my co-host as always, it is Samson. How are you doing?
I am doing well. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Friday.
If you're listening on a Tuesday. Well, Dan, not everybody listens on the day it comes out.
That's true. Why aren't you listening on the day it comes out? What's going on?
Well, maybe they had a busy Friday and a busy weekend, and now it's Tuesday. So happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Samson, how was your Canada Thanksgiving?
Oh, my Canadian Thanksgiving, as we like to call it here. It was pretty good. A lot of VR, a lot of chilling out. I had a busy weekend of traveling, little family barbecue in the Poconos.
Nice.
It was a good time, but like 5-6 hour drive each way.
Yep.
And I took Monday off with a little PTO.
Nice.
And just chilled out.
Oh, very good.
And now we have like a nor'easter going on. Is it raining near you?
Nope. Beautiful over here.
Wow. It's been bad.
It's like, I don't know, 75 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm doing a rough calculation in my head of what Fahrenheit would be.
Wow.
It's nice. It's nice out here.
It's about 75 in the house now that I have the pellet stove going, but yeah.
Now that you've cranked it up. Very.
No, I didn't. I'm not using oil heat yet. Dan.
Fair enough.
I limit myself to the pellet stove heating up.
Fair enough.
As much as we can.
Yeah, very, very, very good. Very solid weekend for Canada, I think, for you, Samson, there.
What did you do for our holiday?
I chilled out, but we had...
Oh, Canada.
We did do a Thanksgiving at my sister's, which was really nice. But then I went to the second game of the playoffs for the Toronto Blue Jays in the baseball, and we got destroyed. So I was there
early, or was it at least good for an inning or three?
It was good for the first 5 innings, and then it was awful, and we got destroyed.
Okay.
But anywho, that's the way it goes. But I've been playing a lot of VR, but playing one particular game more than anything, and we can't talk about too much of it, but we can talk a little bit about it. That's Arken Age. We've had early access to Arken Age, thanks to the developer who gave us that. We'll have our impressions for at least the first 30 minutes or so, 40 minutes or so that we can share. We can't share anymore. It's under embargo until later on this month, but we have been playing quite a lot of it just so we can finish it by the time that comes around. Yeah, and then talk about it. But Samson, thanks to the developers at End Dreams as well, we also got access to Reach. Reach is coming out this week. Well, kind of access.
Half of us.
We've got Quest access just this morning, which is a Tuesday that we're recording. So I've only played a little bit of it, but enough to give some decent impressions to tell you about it. Samson hasn't got access because he's waiting for the PSVR 2 version and not got access yet. But
I'll hold out.
Hold out. And I'm sure next week when we have the next podcast, we'll have a lot more to talk about with Reach anyway. But a lot of fun times. Very thankful for devs hooking us up with early access to these games, because then it helps everyone else get informed as the game comes out. And also it helps us spend more time to play it, because I think when we don't get access, we get the game when it comes out, but then something else happens and we move on because there's another thing happening, At least this gives us a bit more of a longer stretch to play.
Or you're like me and you've held on to Arken Age pretty much since day one and just been waiting for that right moment. And now it is.
And now it is. All right.
It's good. I will say, Dan, because we can't talk that much about Arken Age, I will say I'm very intrigued about the developer. I forget how to pronounce it, though. It's Vitruvius, probably. They have 2 other games. Mervils, which is sort of like a platformer. Very interested in this. I wishlisted it on Steam already. And Shadow Legend VR. I was never interested in this before, but all of a sudden I am.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, we'll get into that part 2. Part 1, we will talk about Reach. But before we do that, Samson, as always, Housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
Discord, if you haven't joined already, there's a link down in the description. Welcome to German Rifter.
Come on down.
Who finally joined the Discord. Been a fan of the show for a while, but he's joined the Discord. So welcome to him. And the link's in the description below. You should be able to join in. It's completely free. We've got a good community going on in there. It's really good. And we have the episode discussion.
They're pretty good, Dan. Let's not
pretty good.
Let their heads get too big.
They're really good. And the episode discussion channel is where you can write questions into us, which we'll discuss in a second. Samson, we also have a Walkabout tournament going on in there. Season 12, week 3 just commenced. Week 4 is coming up. Do you have any latest standings?
Oh, I've got some standings, Dan. I've got some standings. So last week, do you remember the courses? I believe they were Forgotten. Yes, they were Forgotten Fairyland, easy, and Ice-Layer, hard. Now, on score mode for easy, Maestro with -20. Denu with -21, and Baru Monkey with -24. And Dan, everybody said personal best because it's a new course.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done, everybody.
Wait, Healing Entree also had -20, but didn't give himself the bronze, so I'll give it to you, Healing. Then in race mode, Denu with 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Healing Entree with 5 minutes and 17 seconds, and Baru Monkey with 4 minutes and 53 seconds. Incredible stuff. Dan, I had 6 minutes and 40. I got stuck on one of those holes, and I got the yips, and I just had to submit that one. Yeah. Ice-Layer hard. Score mode, Healing Entree with -5. Personal best. Congratulations. Maestro with -8. Personal best, congratulations, and Baru Monkey got a -12. No, congratulations as well. Then on race mode, Kimmy Kai, 6 minutes and 7 seconds in third place. Healing Entree, 4 minutes and 56 seconds, and Baru Monkey collecting all of the gold this week with 4 minutes and 27 seconds.
Yeah, he's tough to beat when it comes to the race mode.
Bling, bling. Yep. And Dan, next week, we are continuing on the player's choice. Liana has selected Labyrinth Easy. And, of course, new course, Forgotten Fairyland Hard.
Yeah. And thank you so much for a Healing Entree for putting this on every single week. You can join in if you come to the Discord. It's on the Walkabout. Is it Walkabout Stuff? Is the channel I think it's called?
Yeah, I think it's called Walkabout Stuff. That's exactly what it's called. Yeah. And Dan, I believe people have continued on the Thursdays playing at 7 Eastern time, and this weekend on Sunday, October 19th, I'll be hosting a room at 9 a.m. Eastern. Ooh, Dan, that's early for those. I'm up at
you're up
6
early. Yeah.
7,
but on a Sunday,
pretty much every day. Every day. Yeah, I can't really sleep in.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but
yeah,
I hope it'll be late for anybody in Europe or potentially further east. Eventually, you go so far east, you go west, though, because the Earth's not flat.
There's only so much time zones. There's so many time zones you can hit.
But yeah, I know it's early. I'm expecting to kind of be alone, but if you're out there, up early or up in the afternoon, out
east.
Yeah. It sounds so weird to say.
Yeah.
Join in,
absolutely. Patreon.com/letstalkoculus if you want to support the show. We did get a new Patreon, thanks to Happy for supporting the show. They pledged to thank us, and that was very grateful. We're very grateful for that Patreon. So thank you so much.
Happy, making us happy.
If you want to submit a comment to us, you can do that via Discord in the episode discussion channel. You can also send us on Spotify, YouTube, letstalkoculus@gmail, all the good stuff. Inferno9, who is on the Discord, he put it in the YouTube this time for episode 206. He says Blood and Truth is my favorite PS4 VR 1 game, and Farpoint is probably my second. Have you played either of those, Samson?
I've played a few levels of Blood and Truth, 2 or 3.
Nice.
I got to take it. It's, it gets my adrenaline going.
Yeah.
So I got to take it level at a time. And then I moved around where my PlayStation was, and I've just been playing Wipeout.
Nice. Speaking of Blood and Truth, I did read something that I can't remember what it was. I should have wrote this down. Apologies, whoever it was, but they said Reach reminds them of Mirror's Edge and Blood and Truth made a baby, which is really interesting. I didn't play much of Blood and Truth. Sorry, I didn't have the PSVR when that game came out. I played the demo on the demo disc.
Wait, am I mixing up Blood and Truth with? No, that's the roller coaster horror game, right? Or is it the? Or is Blood and Truth the more like embellished like movie-esque one? I might be confusing the two.
No, Blood and Truth is the British.
Okay, sort of the heist one.
Yeah, where there's like a demo.
Right, I haven't played that one yet. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a demo on the demo disc for the PSVR one. I don't think it's called Blood and Truth. I can't remember. I could be wrong on that, but that's in there. And then Farpoint is actually really good if you have the PS Aim controller. I remember playing that with the Aim. I actually played that with the Aim controller in a mall.
Did you do that one co-op? Oh, okay.
No, it was in a mall. It was just like they had like a booth in the mall that I was working. Where was it? Actually, I think it was in Vancouver when I moved, because I had to sell my PSVR one and such before I moved to Canada, and they had it in the mall with Farpoint with the controller and such, which was really fun.
That's great.
That was 2019.
Imagine if they had Wipeout just in like arcade units. Yeah. I would probably go to the arcade for that. Yeah. Well, I have it at home, but to play with others.
For sure. Kimi Kai on Discord, Patreon of the show, she said, in regards to the last week's episode where we talked about Star Wars, she said, well, she didn't say anything, really. She kind of did say.
No, she did say. She said totally worth the $20.
She did.
And she posted the funny picture.
I was about to say, she posted the picture with the stormtroopers doing YMCA in the Star Wars playset. It looked really good, actually. She did a good job. Did a really good job.
Yeah. Fantastic.
If that's worth $20, then that's worth $20. Just messing around. I'm intrigued to see what people come up with, but the YMCA was a very, very good one. All right, Samson, we're well and truly in the big season. I don't know what to call it. VR-tober. No, maybe that was awful.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Last week, we talked about Star Wars. We actually did the whole review of Star Wars because it's a quick game and we finished it in time for the podcast. This week, we have Reach Impressions. And obviously, you haven't got the game yet, Samson. I will try not to spoil anything, to be honest. And I haven't played enough to spoil it, I don't think, anyway. But I've played around the first hour or so. I'm always bad. I've listened to a few podcasts of ours sometimes.
Should I give my impressions first?
You go on.
Well, I haven't started yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm always bad when it comes to telling you how long I've played in a game. What sometimes feels like an hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes it's 30 minutes. It's like, so I couldn't tell you exactly how, but I'm guessing it's the first hour or so. Okay. And to tell you more, there are 14 levels in the game. I don't know how long it is. The review build did not tell me that. I didn't ask, to be honest, but it did tell me that. But it did tell me that there are 14 levels, and I'm on level 4 after just an hour. So I don't know if the levels scale up.
You've just gotten to level 4, I take it.
Yeah.
So you've completed 3.
Yeah, exactly. But levels could be much longer and such. So I actually don't know how long this is, but for everyone listening to this podcast, by the time this podcast comes out, all the reviews and such for Reach would have been out on YouTube and Upload VR and all that stuff. I'm sure they put in how long the game will be out, but we could talk about that next week. But Samson, let's talk about Reach. So initial impressions. When I got into it, it felt very like the world of Assassin's Creed and the world of Ghost Town. And I say Ghost Town is because you have a British woman protagonist and she talks quite a lot throughout the game, and also talks to help you, because she's like, oh, I should push this over here to try and get over. Or I should try and climb or try and find this. She'll prompt you quite quickly as well. Like even if you've been looking around and you can't find it for like maybe a minute or 2 minutes or something like that, then she'll go, maybe I should climb up there or do this or something like that. And it kind of, obviously she's just a British woman. I don't know if it's the same voice actor as the one in Ghost Town, but that kind of gives me that kind of vibe with the Ghost Town. And the environment.
Feel like you're back home.
Yeah, it does. Feels like I'm back in London. And the environments also, at least in the very, very first, before you go to the underground city, which is where most of the game will be, I assume. When you're just in the main city, shall we say, feels very much, in terms of the graphical quality, very much like Ghost Town in terms of its realistic graphics, but it's not super sharp or anything like that. It's good. It's good. Ghost Town was pretty solid in terms of performance and such, compared to Reach, to be honest with you. And also, speaking of that, initial impressions, the graphics do look pretty good. Obviously, it's going to be way better on PSVR 2 and PC. I'm expecting in that, for sure. There was a little bit of anti-aliasing. There's a little bit of blur, like wibble wobble blurriness, especially around steps. Like if you look at flight of stairs and such, I don't know if it's the stairs,
like shimmer,
the shimmer on the stairs or something. There is a specific field of view where you can see, of course, for quite a while, but in terms of like the quality, you can tell that there's a specific distance, and then it's not as good until you walk closely to that. Arken Age is the same thing, where if you look at the floor, you can notice it, where there's parts of the floor just a little bit ahead that is not fully rendered until you walk further. And it's very similar in Reach and Arken Age, and in both games, as we'll talk about Arken Age later on, it doesn't bother me, to be honest with you, at all. There's a bit of popping as well. Once again, doesn't really bother me, but it does happen. The only thing that is that there's occasional bit of jitterness in terms of the performance. Every time something big, like a big set piece happens, there's a little bit of a like hesitation before that set piece happens. There's a little, like, shall I say, little glitch, frame drop, something like that before it happens. Once again, doesn't really bother me, but it does take you out a little bit with those surprises, because you can kind of tell before it goes. But overall, in terms of graphics performance so far, pretty solid. It's going to look better in PSVR 2 and PC, but is that a reason to get it for those platforms? I would say no. At least right now. And in Underground City, in the actual city that's underground, which I didn't write it down and I forgot what it's called. I'll probably bring it up in a second. It's beautiful. Like, it's really nice. Because you have like, it's more contained, right? Rather than just being an open city, open world kind of city that it is at the start. It's more contained, and walls and ceilings are so high, and there's not too much going on, but when there is something specific going on in one like focus area, it looks really good. It looks really, really good. So
is it like there's just high ceilings? Yeah,
because you're in this like you're in an underground city which has many different levels and such, but you can see that you look up, there's probably pretty much no ceiling at some times in this, like, because you can climb quite a bit if you can try and get up there and such. And yeah, it's a big like mansion kind of place. Yeah.
Can you climb anything?
No, you can't climb anything, but you can climb a lot more than you think. There's many different climbing areas which has the classic chalk, like white chalk on it, so you can see that you can climb it.
Like murder chalk? Oh.
No. But you sometimes there's a bunch of like areas that doesn't have chalk on, but you can still climb on it as well. So yeah, it's a bit of a mix when it comes to that, but it's not it's got anything I would say that it's not like you can climb everything like in Zelda or anything like that, and maybe you wouldn't want to because it kind of will break the game, to be honest. But let's talk about the extra.
Yeah, I don't really like stamina climbing.
It's not stamina climbing. It's your own internal stamina.
But that's what would be like Zelda.
Oh, right? Yeah, absolutely. It's your own stamina, though, in terms of moving. So we always said when it comes to Reach, we saw the trailers and such, and we were like, this is going to be a game that looks really interesting and looks really unique in terms of its, like, the way of movement and such. And right now, as of like an hour or so in, yes, it is a little bit unique, but it's not like groundbreaking at this very moment. Okay, so for example, there's a lot of climbing involved, and you climb like you would think you'd climb, and you can like reach up or like try and jolt yourself up.
That's the name.
You try and jolt yourself up to jump at like higher heights, and you can like move with force to the left side, right side, and jump across and all that stuff. So that's all kind of like, it's climbing. In the end of the day, if you played the climb and such, it's very similar. If you played something Assassin's Creed, it's very similar in that. It does work well, though. I've never had once where it's like a little bit of jitteriness and I'm like, oh, shoot, I've just fallen off because it just didn't work. Like, it's been absolutely solid. Like, every time I've tried to climb, it's been working how I want it to.
How's pulling yourself up onto a ledge?
Really easy. So when you get to the ledge, you just flick your left stick forward and then you get on top, basically. Okay. So you just use that.
So you don't even have to.
No, you don't have to do that. Yeah. No, which is great because that's always one of the most annoying parts. Yeah. Jumping. If you try and press the A button, it won't jump. What you need to do is actually fling your arms up when you press the A button. So it's kind of harder to describe, but yeah.
Like forward, so you start back and you go forward to jump.
Yeah.
Not start.
Let's say.
I got you.
Let's say if you were in real life trying to run across and jump across a ledge, you would probably reach out with your hands forward first, and then they'd go back
to get that inertia.
The forward part is what you would do. You don't have to do anything crazy. It's just a little bit of movement with your arm, but the jumping won't work unless you do that. And obviously, same thing when you run and jump, you have to do the same thing, and you'll jump further and such.
What kind of comfort settings are you working with?
I've gone with the default at the start. I did get motion sick. I ran too much. I put the vignette on. Didn't like the vignette, but now I've not ran as much, and I felt fine the second time. So, because when you run, there's these like
it's probably a blur.
There's like a wind thing like a wind streaks that come up. But I've noticed that they're like so far in between. Like it feels like they should come up every time you run, but sometimes they don't come up. And I think maybe that's what's caused the bit of motion sickness. This game could do with an update, but it's not like you shouldn't buy it until the update.
It could do with a release date build.
A release date build, yeah. This is a preview build, to be fair. Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, if this preview build was the build that everyone gets when they buy the game on Thursday, that's fine. It's still really good. Like, it's not like you have to wait. It's not like Wanderer, where it's like I have to wait or anything like that. This works really good out the box, to be honest. Talking more about the traversal, though, once again, they've done a good job. They've done a good job in terms of changing, giving you the option of whether you want to really like immerse yourself with the physics kind of movement or just want to press the button. So crouching, you can press the B button to crouch if you wanted to. Okay. And sometimes you want to do that because just generally as you're walking, you want to crouch. And if you see an enemy, you want to kill it.
I'm a button croucher.
Exactly. Right. However, what you could do is, when you're trying to get through like a tight space and you need to crouch underneath something, instead of pressing the crouch button, now you can do that if you want to, but you can just grab the like end of the wall, shall we say, or whatever you're going underneath, and you could just pull yourself down, or push yourself down rather. Nice. And then you go underneath. And I actually prefer that over the button doing it that way. The only reason why is because when you leave that area, it automatically brings you back to standing without needing to press the button again. That's the only reason why I like it more. You get the arrows as well. You get your bow and arrow. I've not had any of the fancy arrows yet, where there's like 3 different like special arrows, and then you got your standard arrow. I'm really bad at the bow and arrow.
Stock arrow.
I'm really bad at the bow and arrow. Way worse than any other bow and arrow game I've played. And I don't know if that's me, or if that's just there's maybe less
maybe some aim assist, huh?
There's maybe less assist on this one than other games for sure. But yeah, I'm not great with the bow now. Not great. So other weapons though, whilst we're on the weapons front, if I've got to the point where I've got the gauntlets on my arms, so on my arms itself, I can see like where my health would be. Very similar to Arken Age, as we'll get to, where if you want to put in like more health, it's like an injection that you just put into your arm that could fill you up with health.
It's a good method.
Yeah, exactly. You also have a shield eventually, which is really, really fun, as you've probably all seen in the trailers and such. And the cool thing about the shield is that you have to hold the hold the trigger button with your right or your left hand. It's up to you. And when you do that, your player kind of touches its middle finger and thumb, like making a circle, like an AOK kind of circle, shall we say? And if you flick your wrist when you do that, the shield appears. And then you can throw the shield. The shield bounces like crazy, goes everywhere, but then comes back. Then comes back to you, and you can either catch it, or if you just leave it, it just goes back into your imaginary pouch and such. The shield is really cool. I've not used the shield too much yet, but the shield's really cool because you can use it for climbing as well. So there's different platforms on the wall where you can throw your shield and it jams in, and you can jump onto the shield. There's like rebounding shield areas as well. So there's like let's say a massive dome or massive gong or something on the side. You can throw the shield at that, it ricochets off that and hits into a climbing part, then you can jump on it as well. So there's going to be a lot of like puzzle climbing actions in here, which was really cool. Also the shield, for some reason, the quality, the textures and such on the shield is real sharp, like really good looking shield, shall we say. Really good. I mean, we'll talk about it in part 2 with Arken Age. Also, really good looking shield. Something about shields. Really good looking. What else has it got there? So I've got the shield. I've got the bow. I'm just seeing if there's anything else in terms of the weapon front. No, I think that's it in terms of the shield and bow for now, for what I have got. I'm sure as I've going to continue through this, you're going to get more bows. Yeah.
What's like your storage options, like your inventory? Do you have like a bag? Is it
no?
What's over your shoulders?
Everything's kind of
everything's
kind of imaginary. So you have your like arm gauntlets, and you have your health pouch on your left shoulder that you can just grab, and that's your injection, and that's it. Over either shoulder is the bow, depending on wherever you put the bow, and your shield is using that kind of finger gesture, and that's about it. Link to it with the finger gesture, with the trigger, holding the trigger and doing that little circle with your hand. If you bring your hand to your mouth, you do a whistle, and basically there's a drone that's kind of your guide as your think about like Portal. If you have like your little Portal guide, I forget the name and such. Very similar to that, no voice, but very similar. And sometimes when there's like hidden things on the wall that the drone can uncover, you just whistle and then the drone goes over. And there might be more to whistling. There might be a way to lure guards and such. I'm not sure. I haven't got there yet.
That's pretty cool.
I haven't got there yet. Yeah. A lot of climbing so far in this game. A lot of climbing, and it works so well. As I mentioned, it's great.
Can you whistle in real life, or is that immersion breaking?
I mean, like, can I physically whistle in real life? I can whistle. I can whistle in real life, but I can't whistle with my hand. I just whistle with my lips, shall we say? So it is immersion breaking because that's not how I whistle. We'll minus 1 point for that. A lot of climbing to start, but like I told you already, the climbing's fantastic. It's very much encourages you to run and jump and climb and run and jump and climb. There's so much already, a lot of good set pieces. Like, for example, there's an earthquake and you're kind of under rubble. So you're trying to get out, right? I'm trying to say this without spoiling too much. But there's one kind of area where you have to climb across, but there's like cars on like some rubble, but the cars keep falling down. So they keep coming down and then they bash into what I've been climbing on. So you gotta climb on it quick before the cars bash in. There are a few times that the cars hit me right in the face and it's brutal and died and I had to start again.
Card of the face.
Yeah, and the way it goes in, I think it must be the haptic. I'm sure if you play on PSVR 2, there's gonna be a lot of haptics on your headset too. But when you get a card to the face, it hurts. And even VR, even in the Quest, which doesn't have haptics, it feels. You can feel it.
You think will this one work with B-haptics eventually?
I don't know. I don't know. B-haptics doesn't seem to have many of the like big AAA games. It's normally indie developers who support it, so I'm not sure. But it'll be cool. It'll be cool to have for sure. I think actually it'll work really well. It'll work really well. But yeah, there's a lot of set pieces where you have to climb, but you have to climb really quickly and you have to jump to the next climbing part before the thing that you're climbing falls down or completely goes to rubble and such. You have a little bit of that. The combat, let's talk about the combat. So far, not too many combat areas so far. It's been mostly a lot of climbing, a lot of puzzling, environmental kind of puzzles to try and, with your climbing and such. But when it comes to enemies, not much. So that is probably the weakest part so far. I've noticed. You have your bow and arrow, which as I've because of the assist, or maybe I'm just bad at bow and arrow and it's not been the best, but it's been okay, right? But something to do with the NPCs. This might not be the case on PSVR 2, but in Quest, they feel a bit janky. And when they shoot, it kind of feels a bit janky. And it does throw you off a little bit because you're in this like...
What do you mean?
You're in this kind of beautiful world and you're like trying to fight enemies and such, but they're kind of like... it feels like their frames per second is lower than the environment and things that are happening in your obviously bow and arrow and such as you're going around. It feels like the frames a second a little bit less, and I don't know if that's just throwing me off a little bit. But that's early on. Like I said, I've fought like maybe 8 or 10 enemies at this point, so it's probably not a good sample size. I'll tell you much more next week for sure. But that's been the only when you're like in full on combat between other people, that's where like I don't love it as much. There was a set piece right at the start where you can.
Like, how many are you fighting at once?
3 or 4.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and
okay, go on with the set piece.
Well, with the one of the like tutorial set piece, shall we say, the tutorial mission. When you're fighting these guards, there's also guns like randomly placed. So you can't have. It doesn't feel like you can holster guns. Maybe you will in the future in the game. But when you grab the gun, you shoot the gun and such, and it has like 6 bullets, and then it's done. And then you just gotta it's like a disposable gun, shall we say? And then you just find more and you use it. But for some reason, the shooting just felt a little bit off. I don't know how to describe it. Just a little bit. It didn't feel as natural as a shooting in Arken Age or other shooting games. And there's a lot of good shooting games in VR, so maybe that's what's throwing me off. But the shooting, the actual like gun combat and such feels a little bit off.
What's the primary way to
bow and arrow?
Kill
bow and arrow for sure.
That's it. Wants you to bow and arrow the most
right now. Yeah, right now. Okay. Right now. One thing that's amazing with the combat, though, I'll tell you now, is when you're in the underground city, which is, like I said, I can't remember what it's called, it begins with L, but you're fighting these like robots.
London.
No, it's like Luna or something like that. But you're fighting these robots, and if you sneak up on them, they're really good detail in terms of graphic when you just look at them and such. The jank kind of happens during combat, but when you look at them, it's pretty good. So there was just showing you a tutorial on how you could do the stealth kill, and the stealth kill is excellent. So basically, as you're creeping up behind them, as they're robots, on the back of them, you can see their spine. It's like a robotic spine, and you have to grab hold of the middle of the spine and pull it out. And as you're pulling out, because of 1, the immersion, 2, the haptics in the controllers, it feels like you're ripping that spine out like literally vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae, and there's like
It's like a Mortal Kombat.
it is, and it's like bang, 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 and then it finally. It's not like one pull and it's off and it just comes off. It's just like you feel the like physical aspect of it from the haptics and pulling the actual spine off vertebrae by vertebrae. It's crazy. It feels amazing. It feels.
Can't wait to pull spines.
It feels amazing. It's the best way. So far, I haven't experienced any other time to do it. It was only in that, like, maybe it was just showing me how to do the stealth kill. Like I said, still early on in the game, but it was very satisfying. And if I could do it more often, I'd do it more often. But the fact that you can feel each vertebrae is ridiculous. But yeah, I think that's all I have so far. I don't know.
Yeah, same.
In terms of like story, there's not much to tell right now. Essentially, there's an underground city that's been hidden for centuries, years and years, and essentially there is a specific. They're not robots; they're living statues, is what they describe it in the game. And there's a specific living statue that has tried to
gargoyles.
No, like an actual statue, not a gargoyle, like an actual statue.
Okay.
And there was this, basically there's one specific, it's like a woman statue who has been trying to escape the underground city and come to the real world, basically to the human life, on above ground, basically. And she's been trying for like, I don't know, 30,000 years or something like that and such. And if she gets on the surface, she will destroy the human race.
That's not good.
So that's basically the main part of the story, shall we say. And you need to try and stop her because she's closer than ever, apparently, according to one of my living statue friends that I met along the way. That's what he told me. The graphics for the actual like characters and the statues and all that stuff, really good. Very impressive too. But yeah, one last thing I'd say is that already just at an hour, I've been like, okay, I'm completely sold. This game looks and feels great. The early levels of tutorial when you're above ground on the city, okay, like it's tutorial. You're learning a lot of climbing. You're learning how to use it. There's a lot going on. But in the open world setting up there, it didn't look that great because it's very open in terms of like you can go into little random places, and these kind of places that you think because you can go into these rooms or something like that, you think they have some hidden collectibles there or something that you can find, but there's none of that. It's kind of empty and such, and it's just getting around. So that's kind of like a little bit disappointing in that first hour. But as soon as you go and the big set piece happens and you finally go underground, that's when the game starts to open up, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm completely sold. This is going to be fun. I'm really intrigued what's happening. I'm really excited what the adventure is going to be. I'm excited to do more of these puzzles because it looks kind of like a futuristic kind of area that you are in this underground city. And yeah, I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing to play more of this game, and I can't wait to talk to you about it more next week once we have it.
You be buzzing.
I'll be buzzing for sure. You're going to have a good time with this, Samson. You really are.
Don't tell me how I'm going to feel.
I think you're going to have a really good time. It's a great VR game too because of all the immersion stuff that they've put in. It's such a good VR game, which is exactly what we're going to talk about in part 2 as well, Samson, with Arken Age. You like that segue? That was a great segue.
Yeah, but we got a whole break.
We have a whole break. But that's Reach Impressions. Let me know what you think if any of you picking it up on day one. I definitely recommend that you should. I think it's around $35 to $40 USD. I think it's $40 USD because it translates to around 55 Canadian dollars. I would already just at the first hour to 90 minutes, highly recommend that you pick this up at day one. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun adventure. Samson, that would do for part 1. In part 2, I'll let Samson talk about Arken Age. So we'll see you then.
Hey, we know public lobbies in VR games can be a bit toxic. feel a bit empty at times. That's why we created the Let's Talk Oculus Discord, a friendly community that you can join for multiplayer meetups, general VR chat, the game, and chat about VR, fitness motivation, and there's even a very impressive 3D printing channel. Join over 100 of our community members in the Let's Talk Oculus Discord for free. The link is right in the description.
All right, welcome back to part 2 of LTO 208. These are the big games. We've just spoken about Reach. Samson, let's talk a little bit about Arken Age. We've both been playing it. We played it quite a bit, and unfortunately we can't talk about a lot of it. Then we have to wait until the end of the month, even though you are playing the PSVR 2 version, which has been out for since January, and I guess no one but
I will adhere, though. No need to spoil anything.
Everyone's waiting for this game on Quest, so no need to spoil too much. But Samson, let's talk about... I've been talking quite a bit in part 1. Let's go over to you. What are your initial impressions of Arken Age?
Well, having gone through the tutorial once before, like way back when it first came out, and then I just sort of got distracted, as I do. But I remembered how much the combat kicks my ass, Dan. And so this time I threw it on easy immediately, and I started a new game. I did start on the quest, but then early on in the tutorial, you use your climbers, and I could not get my left climber to go. I was not flicking my wrist properly, apparently. So I pivoted to the PlayStation VR 2 and with the same settings, and restarted the tutorial. And
did it work fine?
Yeah,
on PSVR 2.
I mean, there's still times where here or there where they, I don't flick properly, I think, but for the most part, it's been pretty seamless now.
Yeah, just to quickly explain that, in Arken Age you have climbing axes that you can use to climb, and it's really cool the way they've done it is that it's always attached to your forearm, and whenever you need them, you flick your wrist up, and then they come into your hand, and then do you flick your wrist up and hold the grab button? Because I always hold the grab button.
Well, you have to flick with not holding a button, and then when they come out,
you grab it with the grip button, right? That's right. And then you can climb with your sticks. I thought that was really cool. Like, that's a really clever way to make it more immersive and not just.
They're also weapons.
Are they? I've never tried them as weapons.
I don't like to use them really, but you can.
Yeah, I guess you got to get real close.
Yeah,
real close. Oh, that's cool. I never knew that. But yeah, really, really fun mechanic when it comes to the climbing. But yeah, back to you, Samson.
So the tutorial is pretty thorough. It'll take you a decent amount of time. But though, don't think you're done learning when you're done with the tutorial, for sure. First, you learn how to use batteries, where to store them. Batteries are pretty integral to the weapons and later on modding and ammo as well. Then they give you your melee weapon, which is off the bat a sword. Then you learn how to heal with the injection things. Healers, what are they called? I don't know.
Just the vaccines, basically.
Yeah, okay, there it is. And there's a button press to get them to just appear in front of your chest. I always screw it up in the heat of combat.
Me too. Yeah, I'm about to say.
Then you get your climbing picks. You learn how to swim, jumping, sprinting, etc. And then you get your heavy and your light weapon. And Dan, I find that I use my side light weapon the most so far, at least for mid range. And then when I get up closer, swords. Then I cleared the next room. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm really just like clear rooms and explore. There's like, you always just looking around, and it feels good to play. It just feels good. It kind of reminds me of how much fun I had playing Hubris, but less sci-fi, more fantasy. Like the platforming is pretty fun. I'm sure once you master moving, you can move around a lot faster than I can, even still. But like I still like the movement. I just don't feel like I feel like eventually you can like you'll be able to hook yourself into trees, whip yourself around, and just
Yeah,
really just get around.
100%.
I find stabbing. I'm not sure if you stabbed yet, Dan, but stabbing feels pretty good with the
I've
sword.
stabbed when the
And
enemy's been down on the ground.
okay, and beheading.
Yeah,
That feels good too.
beheading does feel really satisfying. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
The parry, at least on easy mode, I'm able to find parry, and like I can kind of do the hand to hand. So the way it works is you sort of parry one of their attacks, then they'll get knocked back a little, and you can kind of go in, at least for a little bit. And I think that about covers most of the general gist of the first half hour / general feelings without really talking
Too much
past that.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
I'm about 5 or 6 hours in now.
I think we know this is like a 10 to 15 hour game, depending on. There's lots of so in the game, which is really cool, is that they have main missions, but there's also side quests that you can do.
In the tablet.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot that you can do in the game. So you can just. I think I'm always one that I always like to think that I do the side quest, but I end up just playing the game, just like playing the main.
I don't want to talk about it much because
yeah, fair enough. I think just to get into it a little bit, I've also been enjoying it just like you have. I think it's excellent. Like I said, massive thank you to Blake, who's the lead designer, who provided us with an incredibly early copy. This game's not out for another 2 weeks, and we've already had it. There's 3 weeks,
Wow.
So very grateful for that. Let's just talk about a little bit of those aspects that you mentioned there, Samson. First of all, visuals. Obviously, you played it a little bit on the Quest with the tutorial, but then mostly on PSVR 2. Did you notice a huge visual change, like immediately? I'm assuming yes, but
yeah, especially because I'm on the Pro, which really makes
is it upgraded for the Pro?
Yeah, I think it's got like a dynamic resolution or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but it looks good. It looks really good, and you can choose either 90 or 60 reprojected. And I tried both, and I much prefer 90 native. It looks a little bit better when you're not moving at 60 reprojected, but there's like the slight blur when you move and all that. And I was like, yeah, it already looks so good, but the colors pop. I think the first thing I noticed was when you boot up the game and the name of the studio comes up, and it's like actually a black screen.
Yeah. They've got the effects and everything as well with the studio comes up, and it is really cool. But yeah, you do notice it big. I'm assuming.
But
did you play Horizon on PSVR 2?
I played a little bit of it. Yeah,
I was assuming that the graphics could be
to see that.
I was assuming that the graphics would be similar to that in a way, in terms of how vibrant it is. But I could be wrong.
Yeah. It's like the greens are real like just the way the color palette of this game is. I feel like it's really built for the OLED.
Yeah, it's the visuals do look good on Quest though. It's not got a long draw distance like I mentioned with Reach, but it's not blurry. Things just get sharper as you get closer. There's a little bit of popping, but it's not crazy at all.
Yeah. And things are mostly pretty contained. Like there's things off in the distance, but like where you are is generally.
I agree. It's still pretty. Once again, if you were to get this on Quest, get it on Quest. It's not a big deal. It's not like I think what was the game that was really After the Fall? Remember that came out? That was like you have to get this on anything but Quest because the lighting in terms of the flashlight and such. That's a big thing, and it didn't have that. And this is like not at all. Like it's got better draw distance than Medal of Honor, in Medal of Honor, when you see the enemies far away, like far away, but you see them running at you, it's incredibly pixelated, incredibly blurry, and they're kind of running at you like random weird pixelated stickmen. It looks really odd until they get closer, and then it comes into vision. This and Reach doesn't have that at all. Like, it's still clear. It's just, it's
Medal of Honor is a Quest 2 game.
Yeah, I know, but so where we've come is what I'm just saying. Like, it's the Medal of Honor with the Quest 2 was very blurry in the distance.
There are also some face haptics too on the PlayStation.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, like you said, up close, visuals look great, textures, environment textures and such were good enough. But like I said, PC, PSVR 2 would be sort of shine and most. Let's talk about the combat a little bit, as you mentioned there, Samson. When it comes to like physics-based combat, my mind instantly goes to like bad experiences like ragdoll physics and such when it comes to VR. I don't really like when they say, oh, true physics-based combat and all that stuff. I'm always worried because sometimes it is just like ragdoll and sometimes it doesn't work well. It kind of breaks a little bit and such. Combat's great here. It's really good. The way that
Are you playing? What mode are you playing?
I'm just on the normal one.
Normal? Okay.
The way I've died quite a few times, to be fair. The way the enemies charge at you and fire at you, and then the enemy AI is really clever as well because it will like take cover and shoot against you. But if it gets close to you, or you get close to them, they change to melee, get the shield out, get their sword out or so, and then they jump and leap on you and such. And it's like the enemy AI
throw grenades too.
Throw grenades excel.
Have we got to that? I don't know. Sorry.
We could talk about that, of course.
Okay.
Fantastic. Like, it feels really, really good. The grenades feel cool because they're kind of assisted when you throw them, so it just kind of goes straight to them. Can we talk about the shield? How the shield's really cool looking.
I never use my shield because I'm playing on easy.
Yeah, I have to use a shield. It's essential. And I've still lost it as well. Like you said, when you press like the B button on your Quest, your like vaccine injections come up, shall we say, in front of you, and then you can grab it and then inject yourself. And if you press the X button on your left stick, your shield comes up in front of you. And I always get it wrong. I always mix them up, and the way you press it, it goes in front of you, so then you have to grab it and such. It's one of the things that I actually didn't like about the game is when you press the inventory and it goes in front of you. I know that the developer must have thought about maybe having it attached to you and such, but maybe with all the weapons and such, it becomes a bit too cumbersome to have so many things attached for sure. But that's one thing that I just needed to get used to, like with reach, having that when you do the shield gesture, and then you've got the shield already connected to you. Is really helpful. Yeah. Well, if you're mid-fight,
you can only have so many. Yeah, you can only have so many gesture-based things.
Yeah, I agree. What do you use the most, Samson, when it comes to your weapons?
Well, I've been using the sidearm mostly.
The sidearm, the pistol, basically.
Though I have started upgrading the bigger one and using it a little differently. Shotgun. Yeah, but I actually accidentally upgraded to like a little plasma thing on it.
Yeah, me too. Didn't like it.
And I didn't like it at first, and then it really grew on me.
Yeah? Oh, no way.
Because if you charge it all the way up, it'll like take a guy out. In two shots. Like it'll do, and it can, if you get it next to a few guys, it'll damage them all.
Oh, I have not tried that.
It's got some AoE.
Yeah, so the cool thing about the weapons is that you can upgrade them. You find like these floppy disks, shall we say, and then when you go to your upgrade station, you can put it in. You put down the the top lid, and it kind of 3D prints the attachment, and then you can grab it. You put it onto your gun, and you can take it off. You can put it on and such. I've used a pistol. I've used the pistol. I've used the sword more than often. I don't know if it's because of the difficulty level.
Have you upgraded it or?
I've actually not upgraded the sword. I've not found any upgrades. Not in at least the first 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I've not really found any upgrades for the sword. Here's a cool thing, Samson, that I had no idea. And you know this from the very start when you first do the tutorial. Is that you can customize the look of it, and you could color it however you want. Your swords, your pistols, your shotguns. So what have you colored your weapons? Have you just left them boring?
No,
blank,
of course I colored them.
Or have you colored them? What have you done?
Of course I colored them. I spent many, many minutes coloring them. Remembering the colors is a little harder, though. My sword, I believe, is a pink, and the energy around the outside is really bright white.
Yeah. Mine's very similar. I got a red sword with white energy as well.
Yeah, I like the white energy. It looked cool. My pistol is sort of yellow base color, I think, like a bright yellow. It's got some neon green on it.
Nice.
And then my bigger gun, my heavy weapon, is definitely more of like a pink and purple.
I've done the pistol as all black. Everything I paint is black. And then for my shotgun, I don't use the shotgun at all, really. Occasionally, but I've been using the pistol more. And then obviously melee. My shotgun is Lakers purple and gold. I'm not a Lakers fan, but I like the purple and gold look.
I mean, calling it a shotgun's deceiving. It's a heavy gun because you can change it to many other types.
I think the official wording is shotgun. But yeah, you're right. Really? You're right. It's a heavy gun. I think so. I could be wrong, but I think that's why I wrote it down, because I didn't think it was a shotgun either. But yeah, it's just super cool to have that option. Like, there's not many games that allow you to customize your weapons like that. I know in like flat screen games and such, you can have skins and such, but I didn't expect that in an adventure game. You know,
well, it's very cool, and then many layers. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, it's not just a single.
You could spend hours probably doing it if you really wanted to.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And then the tutorial is pretty cool itself as well. Like the tutorial, I thought it would be a bit weird because you're in this like kind of lab, shall we say, and then there's you've got your iPad or the screen, and then all the tutorial missions are there, and you just have to press them with your finger. And I was like, it's a bit boring, you know. But then I got into them, and I was like, actually, they're really cool. Like you said, it teaches you every little bit, like to how to upgrade your weapon and such. But then some of it is you don't just stand there; you also go downstairs. So the climbing, you go down the elevator, and then you have to jump, and it shows you how to do the long jump, and then you have to get the pickaxes. It shows you how to flick your wrists, and then you have to. The way to get out of that room is to climb all the way around and get over. So it's actually a really fun tutorial that was built, to be honest, with all the little bits in there. There's a lot of loot in there. There's a lot of loot, and I'm still not understanding.
Keep exploring.
I'm picking up everything. Like, there's ways to like sell it and all that stuff and such, but at the moment I still don't know, you know, what I'm collecting. I'm just collecting. There's fruit. There's like hanging fruit that you can grab and you can eat it, or you can put it into like a machine when you have 2 of the hanging fruit and put it and create like injections or the vaccines from it as well, which is cool. But yeah, it's really cool in terms of how it feels. It's very much a hubris. It feels like, to be honest with you, like you said, a fantasy version of hubris at this moment. It's very immersive. It's very VR first. A lot of the stuff in there is very much VR interactions. The flicking of the wrist for the climbing is a perfect example for that. How satisfying is the climbing as well, by the way? The way you put your pickaxe inside, like when you hit the pickaxe, you get a bit of feedback on your controllers, and it creates like a little dent inside the wood as well. And it feels like you're chopping wood in a way, and the way you're climbing up, it sounds like it. It's really cool. I love climbing in here. Climbing in Reach, they're very different, very cool, both of them. The only thing that doesn't fit with the immersiveness, I would say, is the swimming. Like, there's not... you go into the water looks good and such, very hubris-like in a way, but there's no actual swimming movements.
I feel like I was doing it to go faster.
Maybe I was not doing it right then, because what I noticed is that you could just move forward with your sticks and then...
I was mostly using the sticks, but there was a time where... I was trying to go faster, and I felt like
you would actually work in.
Maybe I'm wrong, though.
I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. You know, this is still early on, so I can't really say. Well, even I've played more than this for sure. I've played like 3 or 4 hours probably, but I played quite a lot on the weekend, to be honest with you. But I know where you are, I know where I am, and I'm definitely behind you. But I never felt the swimming motion. But yeah, but I can't wait to see how this goes, Samson. Just like Reach. This is another game. You can tell, I'm not going to lie, when you've gone, and this makes sense, right? When I've been playing Reach, been playing Arken Age, I can tell which one's more the indie title, which one's more of the big budget kind of developer, you know, title. You could tell.
I mean, In Dreams is still long. definitely bigger than indie, I guess. But they're like a mid.
There might be like double A, single A. I don't know
Yeah.
if there's single A. I'm talking baseball here, but
I guess they're well over 100 people probably. But.
right, they're a bit of they're an established studio where Arken Age is a very, very small team. And you can see the difference. However, that just makes Arken Age feel more impressive because of how well the VR actions are, how well it feels, how well the good combat works, how well the AI is. The characters that you meet are really high quality and have voice acting and such as well. Yeah, really, really.
This is why I'm most interested in their other games, because I love these VR indie studios that are able to make it with each of their games and slowly build up, like Hyperdash Breachers, Forefront.
Yeah.
You have this like Mervils, Shadow Legends, Arken Age.
Yeah.
Like I do kind of want Arken Age 2 or whatever else is next, you know?
So it's just excellent. Like, I'm very impressed. So yeah, what I was saying there is like not to bash them of it's indie. It's like more to praise them. It's like how well it is and how well it holds up. Yes, you can see the money that's been put into Reach and the set pieces for sure. We can't really talk about that. There might be much more going on in the game for Arken Age much later on. But my gosh, does it feel really good, play really good, visually hold up. And yeah, I think Arken Age, Reach, there's going to be a tough battle to talk about what's the best game between the two. They're very different, but it's going to be a very interesting conversation that we'll have much later down the road this year for sure. And then you still got Thief, which we still don't know the release date and such.
Yeah, they could steal the show.
That could. That was excellent. That might be your best one I've ever heard. But that even caught me off guard, and I was like, oh, wow. Nailed that one. But yeah, we'll share much more. We haven't discussed what the narrative is or how the boss fights are or anything like that. Of course, you can find out more. They're all online, everything like that, if you want to. But why would you do that? Why not just wait until the Quest release and then get into it just then? Unless, of course, you're already got a PC VR or a PSVR 2 and you could just get straight in the action. And it's been on sale recently on Steam. I'm not sure if it still is as well. But this game comes out on October 30th on Quest 3 and 3S.
Do it.
I don't think it's on 2. I doubt it's on 2. I think it's just 3.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Same with Reach. And that comes out October 30th. Reach comes out as the time you're listening to this podcast. 2 of the biggest games. That's it, Samson. That's part 2. Part 3, we'll talk about some quick little VR news. Anything else that we've been playing. Samson's been playing a lot. And the game's out this week. So we will see you in part 3. Let's Talk Oculus is available on all good podcast platforms and some rubbish ones as well. If you want to see the video version, it's available on YouTube and Spotify. And also, if you love us so much, then consider throwing us $1 at patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. Back to the show. All right, welcome back to part 3 of LTO 208. The 2 biggest games, Reach, Arken Age for October. We've covered at least the impressions of both of them. You've heard them in the first 2 parts. Now, Samson, we're going to talk a bit more about the games that you've been playing, because I've just been playing Arken Age and then Reach. But before we do that, very quick VR news to discuss. One, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles did have like their first little gameplay reveal. Didn't tell us too much though, to be honest. Upload VR do have a really good article of like first impressions on that. I would recommend reading that. I haven't gone into this too much. I don't think you have either, Samson. So maybe we can talk about this another day. Next news story, Horizon Plus now includes an indie catalog as well. So even more games are going to be available in there. So there's no list right now as far as I'm aware.
No, but it did list some of the requirements in this article. And one of them was average 25K USD monthly revenue from base game sales. So that's kind of an interesting.
That's in the regular catalog. There's going to be 2.
Yeah. So we know some baseline revenue stats for those in the.
Yeah, that's
catalog.
True. So for the games catalog, it needs to be a paid app on the Horizon Store, 12 months since publishing, have a 4-star rating or higher, have 50 reviews or more, and average 25,000 USD, as you mentioned, over the last 90 days. So it's not like big sales. And for the indie catalog, be a paid app once again, be 6 months on the store, have at least 50 monthly active users, have 4-star rating or more, have 10 reviews or more, and average between $50 to 3,500 USD over the last 90 days. So they're your different options that indie developers can now submit. So there's going to be 2 catalogs in there, but for everyone else, they'll just be basically the one subscription, which is $8 a month for Horizon Plus, which is cool. It's just going to give
like
more
60 a year or something. I think something cheaper a year.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so just it's solid. More option for everybody, and for those indie titles who can get onto it, more exposure as well. Next news story, Star Trek Infection VR gets a December release date. This one kind of looks like an Alien Isolation in Star Trek land. I don't love the look of this, to be honest. I don't have the best gut feeling on looking at this, but what do I know? What do I know?
Nothing.
But this is
I don't know. It looks
out.
kind of scary, but
It's very scary.
This is a wait and see one for sure.
Comes out December 11th, 2025. Could this be the last game of the year? Or, I mean, Alien Isolation came out around the same time as well. Could we have
there'll be games to come out later.
Still waiting for that Thief release date. Hoping it will be just before this, to be honest. Final news story, which is not Quest related, but I just want to quickly mention it because it's just a cool evolution of VR. Apple Vision Pro is getting live Apple immersive sports starting with the LA Lakers NBA games from January. It's going to be completely free if you do have it. I don't think anyone who listens to this has a Vision Pro, but if you did, you can watch it from January onwards, I believe, and it's going to be free. And there's going to be select games and such. So it'll be very similar to the X Stadium in Quest, but it seems like it'll be even more immersive.
Yeah, it's more similar to that the Zone one, I think. Like it'll have the players.
Oh, it'll be like that. I see.
Yeah.
I see. It will be.
It'll be more like a 3D. Rendering of it.
It will be 180 degrees as well. So as far as I'm aware,
maybe it'll have options, kind of like the Zone had to.
Because the Quest one, the Quest X Stadium is 180 degrees as well. Yeah. But yeah, it might have a lot more going on for sure. I'm assuming it will for sure, and I'm assuming the quality is going to be ridiculous. But yeah, well, the X Stadium, just looking at it now, it's 2D 180 degree, and this one's going to be 3D 180 degree. So it's going to feel
whole extra degree.
Very different, very different. But yeah, if you have that, it'd be really cool to check that out. And yeah, I can't wait to when this becomes more of a norm of live sports in VR. Because I definitely will watch it if it's a sport that I'm interested in, or like a team that
I'd watch more baseball for sure if you had the baseball field on your little
table baseball field, and then watching you're right behind the home plate.
Yeah,
it'll be excellent. You can already do that, so not in VR, but if you're like if you go onto Google and just type in the game that's live right now, you can click on it and there's like a live play-by-play. And I don't know if it's actually Google or comes from the MLB itself. I think it's actually coming from the MLB. So it goes to MLB and you get to watch it. So when like a play happens and it's like a home run or a sac fly or something like that, okay, you can see the ball moving over. So you see the little line and then you see all the players moving and such as well. And it's all in that kind of 2D, kind of that view that you'd want, Samson, but on your phone. Obviously, yeah, in VR would be really cool. That's coming up too. So that's all our news stories that we wanted to quickly discuss. But Samson, do you want to go into the games out? Not games out this week.
I'd love
games
to.
that you played this week.
I'd love to talk about the games that I've played this week. Starting with Masternoid. Because I've nearly got the platinum on the PlayStation now. I'm 3 trophies away. But of course, now comes the hard part because you got to get 3 stars on every single one. I've now gotten at least 2 on every single one, but I've got to get that third star in a lot. I think 24%. I think I'm 76% done. This is Masternoid. Is of course a brick breaker style game with an incredible soundtrack that gets me completely in that focus zone out mode, where you're no longer thinking, you're just kind of reacting and not thinking about anything else. Just reacting. Much like high end Wipeout or other sort of rhythm games. You have a gun on your right hand, and you can sort of guide or control the direction of where you hit the balls. And there's 1 to maximum 4 of them. The balls are constantly moving, ideally breaking the shape in front of you down and collecting multipliers. And there are sometimes power-ups. The power-ups are thunder, which when bounced around sort of darkens the color of the bricks it's breaking, and then I think sort of just like takes them all out in one. Then there's fire, which sort of burns through them. So if you have a lot of them in a line, you can just completely burn right through them. Burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno. Then there's Magnet, of course, which collects all of the multipliers. There's Pistol, which it changes it sort of freezes the balls, and then you immediately get a sort of arcade style pistol where you can break some of the. What I like to do there is aim for one like really condensed section, and so all the multipliers are just all there, and then throw my ball right at there, falling. And then there's a bomb which sort of blows up a chunk. And then my favorite one, Dan, Dome, which encapsulates the shape you're trying to break with a dome that contains all the balls once they're in there. If you get 3 or 4 balls, just ping, 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 ping. Oh my God. It is pure ecstasy. Because you're just watching and listening for those few seconds because you don't have to worry about the balls escaping the dome.
Yeah, you're really loving this game. Really loving this game, right? Like it's just
it's incredible.
I think this might be right now your game of 2025.
Yeah, it's like 2 years old though. So
but yeah, it's fine. It doesn't matter. You picked it up this year. This might be your favorite game so far.
It's definitely not for everyone, but it is a game that would be easy to show someone new to VR. There's not very many mechanics. There's not very many button presses. It's pretty easy to pick up. It could use I'd love a multiplayer if I could see. So you're sort of like working inside this cube, and everything everything you're doing is inside that cube. If I could see 2 or 3 other friends and talk to them. I mean, it'd be hard to talk to them, but I could distract the hell out of them. And watch their shape, sort of see where they're at if I need to real quick. Or maybe even if there were power-ups that you could distract with, that would sort of take it to the next level. But for now, there are leaderboards, and there's a daily leaderboard. I think that might be across the systems. And then there's some seasonal content as well. I see.
Lots to go. Lots to get on with. Very good.
Yeah, that's Masternoid. Highly recommend it. $15. And I imagine sometimes on sale. It was on sale for Steam a couple weeks ago at half off. I got into a few races of Wipeout on the PlayStation VR 1. Loving it. Still slow and steady, Dan. Moving right along because this has been a long one. Trivia Crack. All right. So Trivia Crack is it's trivia, Dan. It's a multiplayer trivia game. I played with Parody and D-Max and D-Max's partner. You got yourself a fun little free game here. We did easy and medium. Easy was pretty easy. Even you could probably get them all, as I was able to get them all.
Fair.
Medium, I definitely did not know them all. But I did feel confident about a few. But there were a couple that I just really didn't even know. I was 25% chance. type of deal.
Fair.
You're trying to get trophies for like this art, world, geography, science. This is one or two others. And once somebody gets all the trophies, they win the game. Some of the answering is just like pressing a button, like A, B, C, D, like you would on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Those are my favorite ones. Easy, basic, simple.
Yeah.
Then there's like a shooty one where there's like space invaders making the answers go up and down and like in a circle. So it's kind of hard to shoot the proper one. Then there's a fishing one where there's sort of fish like swimming in a basic pool and you've got to reel in the proper answer. And then there's a drawing one that gave the most people some trouble. I had a little bit of trouble with the drawing one. It is frustrating.
The drawing one's sometimes fun because people can't draw. I can't draw.
Well, the way it works is you're not drawing the thing.
Oh.
You're drawing the shape that corresponds to your answer.
Oh, I see.
So it's a little frustrating when you know the answer and you're just
wrong.
like getting blocked by the mechanic. But it wasn't like every time that was happening. It only happened to me once during the 2 rounds. And I'd say for a free, 5-player game, it was pretty fun. I think we played like 45 minutes or so. And a bunch of that was trying to get into the game. I'd say.
I can't wait to try that. I'll definitely jump in with you guys.
Trivia Crack
soon on that for sure.
Trivia Crack World, I think is what it was called.
Yeah, it is.
And at first I thought it was just a Horizon World because why would you put World in your game name? But they did it.
There we are.
You got to crack that trivia. Then I got into Walkabout on Monday morning with Baru with his Monday morning coffee, and Dimples joined before work. Just shout out again. We're playing against. I'll be playing Sunday the 19th at 9 a.m. The results of my scores were in previous earlier in the podcast. So moving right along, got into a little more Demeo Battles, just slowly chugging along at that single player. I'm really almost through finally. Jiminy Crickets.
It's played the demo of Battle Marked on Steam at all or not?
No, not yet.
No? Are you just waiting till the main release, or I didn't know if you were going to try the demo.
Yeah, I mean, I think I plan to. It's still Next Fest, I believe, for a bit longer.
Yeah, I don't think it comes out until next month anyway, but yeah, I was just wondering.
It's only the flat one that's on.
Oh, okay, that changes everything. I thought the VR one was on the demo as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And then last but not least, I showed my little cousin mentioned that I went to a family gathering. And I showed my little cousin, he's 10. I asked him if he played VR before, and he's like, yeah. Like Gorilla Tag? He's like, no. Animal Company. I was like, same thing. But we let him play a little 11 table tennis with me. And then he individually played some Fruit Ninja, Real VR Fishing, and he was really digging Dig VR. And then while he was playing some Dig VR, when I asked his mom if I could I brought like that Quest 3S that I had from my cable company. I threw it in my car. I was like, if the moment arises, we'll see. And it felt right. So I was like, do you want this to give it to him on Christmas? She's like, I can't take that credit. Give it to him now. So I gave it to him now, and his mind was blown.
Aww.
And so there's another squeaker out there.
Bless.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Hopefully we've got a lifelong VR gamer on our hands.
I think
but I did tell him not to swear at people online, and he looked at me, laughed, and said, I already do.
I guess you can't change him.
Yeah.
That's fine. You can swear at people. Don't racially swear. No slurs. Racial slurs or anything like that.
That's fair.
No hate.
I didn't want to teach him anything.
No hate.
But yeah, that just about wraps it up.
Oh, very
Masternoid, Wipeout, Trivia Crack, Walkabout, Demeo, and
a gift. A beautiful gift. You did it perfectly. Because you gave him the interest first, that he was interested. If you put him in VR and he's like, I don't like this, then the quest stays in the car, and maybe a different cousin will receive this present. But that was nice. That was really sweet. All right, let's wrap this show up with games out this week. Samson, you've been talking a bit. I'll say the game. There's only one game out this week, and that's Reach. You've heard about it already. Embody a reluctant hero, wield extraordinary abilities, and journey into the perilous world of crossed realities. Make every move matter to shape your destiny. Are you ready to make the leap? Full body awareness and true-to-life interactions deliver unmatched presence in every moment. Delve deep into the spectacular world packed with mythical threats and secrets to uncover. Freely jump, climb, and zipline across breathtaking environments with smooth, intuitive traversal designed for VR. Engage in thrilling, emergent combat encounters against imposing, deadly adversaries. It hit the nail on the head. Go buy Reach. Go play it. I don't know how long the game is, but I already can tell that's going to be a really fun journey. Really fun journey. We'll talk more about Reach next week. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Thanks, everyone, for watching. I've been Dan.
And listening.
And listen. And what? I did say listen. Did I not say listen?
Well, yeah, and I was just emphasizing the last one you did. I've been Sam.
He's been Sam. Did you go by Sam?
Samson.
Did you go by Sam?
No, I'm so tired.
I was going to say, I've never heard you go by Sam before. And I don't. Yeah. Sam doesn't sound right.
I also don't say I've been Sam. Yeah. So that's why I don't. The whole thing.
Samson needs some food. It's dinner time.
You know what? Happy Wednesday, everybody.
It's Tuesday for us, but yes. Oh yeah, hold on. For the people who are listening on a Wednesday, I've lost that again. I'm sorry. It's time for food. I'm starving. Thanks everyone for listening and watching. We will see you next week.